Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the UGC Boss podcast. Today I'm on with Noor. She's a brand owner. She owns a perfume company, and we're going to be digging in today on her experience working with UGC creators. So it should be valuable all around for UGC creators to understand, hey, what does a brand look for? What does a brand need for UGC? So let's just jump right in. Hi, Noor.
Hi, Gloria. How are you? How you been?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you very much. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Let's just jump right in. Just give me like a quick intro of like who you are, uh, what your company is, and then yeah, just a quick intro of those two.
Okay, so my name is Noor Tahir. I have been a content creator for over 10 years, and I really love perfumes. So because of that, I basically started my own perfume brand, which is like a one-note perfume brand. Like, a lot of times people are looking for like a very specific note in perfumes. I want to smell like vanilla today, or I want to smell like chocolate. And they don't want like an entire perfume for that. So I provide pretty easy, cheap, and really good quality solutions to that. The reason that I was looking for something like that was myself, as I stated, I am a perfume enthusiast, and sometimes, when you see a need in the market of a specific niche and you can't find it anywhere, you realize you're like, okay, why don't I work on it myself? So being a content creator and also having recently started UGC myself, I realized that, when I was making content for my brand, a lot of UGC creators that were reaching out to me, they were not like I can't say up to the mark, but they weren't exactly
Mm,
focusing on what a brand would focus on. So then
okay.
like when we started talking, I was like when you asked me to like give my insight on like a brand's side of things, I was like, great, okay, since I know exactly like what a brand is looking for when it comes to that.
100%. So let's just dive right into that. Like, I think it's really inspiring that you're both a UGC creator, content creator, right? And a brand
Thank you.
owner, right? That's really cool. So,
Thank
like,
you so much.
walk me through like how many like creators have you worked with? And I guess like what prompted you to work with them in the first place?
So when I started out my brand, I thought I could possibly do it all by myself since it's like a small or very niche brand. But after time and after I started getting quite a lot of orders, I realized it was not possible for me to keep up on the like technical side of things as well as also do all of the like advertising and like content creation because I already had my content creation on the other side. I'm also a makeup artist, so I do people's makeup
Mm,
and stuff along with that. So that's another business. So I have like a pretty jam-packed day. So I realized I did not have more time to do the content creation that I needed. So when I would reach out, like when I started reaching out to content creation creators in the first place, I started with two or three, and
mm,
I basically like I judged by the quality of their work. It wasn't so
mm.
much about like, do you have a billion followers or do you have like three? Like, if your work looks professional, and it doesn't have to be like shot with studio equipment or like, the most expensive cameras. But if your work looks good on my feed, that's the type of people that I chose.
Mm. And let's talk about more about you said quality, right? You're looking
Yes.
for like creators with quality content. What else besides maybe like, you know, overall like theme, right? What their content looks like. What else prompted you to like choose a creator for your brand?
I'd say honestly their past experience, like what
Hmm.
type of ads were they creating in the past? Obviously, the niche. So if they were like people that had worked in like the fitness industry or like the tech industry, they weren't really related to perfumes or like, skincare, makeup, that sort of stuff. I was more focused on like perfumes, makeup, skincare sort of thing, even though it's mostly perfumes, but like, the beauty industry. So if
Mm,
I'd seen that they had some previous work with that and they knew specifically how to market what they were doing, because like obviously there's different ways to market, again, tech and stuff along those lines. And if they could actually show, like somehow, because I think perfume is an industry that is actually one of the hardest to portray because nobody can actually smell what a perfume smells like through the screen, right?
mm.
So if you have some kind of experience with that, how do you describe the notes? How do you describe how you feel? How do you describe how long it lasts, projects, everything according to that? So if you had at least somewhat experience according to that, then I would definitely send you my perfume. But if it was just like another person that's just like, oh, I kind of like perfumes and, I apply perfume every day, so I must have a little bit of insight into it. I mean, everybody likes perfume, but it's basically about how knowledgeable you are about a specific thing. Whether
Mm,
it's perfume or anything else, I think that's what I've come to realize, again, in a pretty short time working in UGC. A brand wants to know, why are you specifically interested in that brand? Are you actually interested in it, or is it just a brand deal to you? At least for a brand my size.
yeah, that's good. Are you interested in me as a brand or just getting the brand deal? That's a great, that's a great thing to think about for a creator on to, take their focus away from like making that getting that payment and
Exactly.
focusing on the brand and how to help the brand. So I guess like for you, like say that a creator sends you their portfolio, right?
Hmm.
From the portfolio, what makes you like click off and like just like throw it in the garbage? And what makes you like keep going and keep looking at the portfolio?
Again, like I would specify that like if they have, again, it's not about followers for me. They're like if I've worked with
Mm,
10,000 brands and I see that those brands have like they're okay with like mediocre quality stuff and they just want to post stuff on their account. I'm just like, okay, it doesn't matter if you've worked with 10,000 of those. I need to see that you've worked with brands that have a reputation for their quality.
mm,
So if like again you're working with my perfume, I want to know that even if you don't have that much experience, you don't even have to work with brands. In your portfolio, I want you to show me that you know what you're doing when it comes to your like aesthetics of it, because I really focus. If I see a good put together brand, and I see that their visuals are always aesthetic, they always have a certain quality to them. That's what I want for my brand. So when I see that they have that certain quality and aesthetic that aligns with my brand, I mean, I'm pretty open to working with anyone when it comes to that. It doesn't even have to be somebody that has a billion years of experience. To me, it's
mm,
like you started a week ago, but I see that and your portfolio isn't working with brands. Your portfolio is just stuff you've done around the house. And I see that
mm.
you're it's up to the mark. I'd 100% hire you.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And that's a great insight for UGC creators that are listening to this that think, hey, they need to be professionals. They need to be like, have years of experience. Really, it sounds like all a brand really wants is like quality content that matches their vibe and matches their like the the theme of their, social media. Is that right?
If I might interject though, I feel like this depends on like location to location.
Mm.
When I started working with South Asian brands, South Asian brands, I realized that for them, and like this is just a tidbit for, I know, like my friends that are also working around in like South Asia, uh, or Asia in general, for some reason, brands in UGC tend to be focused a little bit more on followers and following and stuff of that sort, as opposed to
Mm.
like, brands more on the Western end of stuff or like more Korean brands and stuff like that. When it comes to like small brands here, I see that they typically want to do collaboration deals. And because of that, it's based a lot on the amount of following that you have. So that
Mm.
matters to some brands. To me personally, because I like to keep a certain level of quality, it doesn't matter to me what your experience is.
Mm. And why do you think, like, just to even like go more on that point, why do you think some brands are very focused on follower count and some brands like you are not at all?
I believe like a lot of the notion here is that if you have a higher follower count, that probably means you have better work. I
Mm.
totally disagree with that because like I know a lot of people here that have honestly bought their followers. I see that their work is like I'm not saying it's bad. It's like, it's average work. I wouldn't say it stands out from the crowd. I wouldn't say it's something that's scroll stopping or it's something, that would make me be like, "Hey, I might want to check this brand out." But, when it comes to like specifically, like I've seen the brands abroad, foreign brands and whatnot, I believe they focus more on like, oh, this quality. Like when I was working with a few like perfume brands in the last few days, um, a lot, I don't even have 100 followers on my UGC account. And they specifically asked me to work with them because they like the quality of my work as opposed to the followers that I have. And they didn't ask for a collaboration post. So I guess that's another thing that mattered more because like, the difference between UGC and content creation is like the content creation is focused on, the amount of reach and engagement you're getting because of your followers. But because UGC is not meant for that, I feel like a lot of like Asian brands confuse content creation and UGC in that
Mm.
sense. And that's why like we have this like this jumble of them asking for you for more followers, but that's not what UGC is about in the first place.
No, not at all. I agree with that. And that's really cool to hear like a different perspective in different countries and how they view things. And it gives like insights to like the creators listening to this that like might not know like why brands, ask for influencer, or influencer status or like the following count, right? So that's cool. So even like
I
go ahead.
I'm so sorry. If I may interject, I feel like a lot of brands might know what UGC is, but there's also a lot of brands that don't know what UGC is. So if you feel like they're focusing on your followers and things like that, like maybe your engagement rates do matter, but your followers, let's say, maybe try and explain to them what UGC is in the first place. I feel like a lot of
Mm.
them mix it up and they like try and jumble up what content creation in UGC is. So if you tell them that I can make an engaging post where you get because for brands what matters most isn't really like the engagement. It could reach 50 people, and if they make 50 out of those 50 sales out of those 50 people that it reaches, that's what matters to them, right? So if you can tell them that you can make a nice engaging or post where you can express to their audience why they need something, then it shouldn't matter what your follower count is, right? You should just be good at the art of persuading, the art of like marketing and sales.
Wow, that's a great point. Wow, that's a great point. Instead of like, it sounds like you're saying like instead of like creating like a, cute content, what about creating content that converts? Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess like before we jump into that, I'd love to jump into that topic, but I want to ask you a question, and it's a burning question as a creator for the past 2 years myself. Like, what's like a red flag that like stops you from moving forward with a creator, with someone?
Um, this might be a little controversial,
Mm.
but I feel like when, as a brand, when I feel like when creators undersell themselves, and to me, that kind of stands out. Like, do you not have confidence in yourself that you're able to either convert or that your
Oh,
videos are
wow.
good enough? Like when a creator, let's say, well, I'm talking dollars. Like we work in rupees, but I'm talking dollars. So typically, if a creator does a video for 250, and I have a creator coming to me and they're like, oh, we'll do it to you for 20, and I'm like, why? Why will you do it for 20? Like even if you just started out, like have a baseline, show me that you think you're worth something and you have the confidence to see that I can bring your brand what you need. So if you're already underselling yourself, why would I trust you enough to send you my product and know that you're probably going to be like converting it in some way?
Mm. Wow, that's a very powerful point. Don't undersell yourself as a creator because it shows the brand that, hey, you don't have confidence, right?
Exactly.
I agree with that. That's insane. That's an insane point. And like creators don't think that brands like can pick up on it. Yes, they can pick up on it. We're all human beings, right? We're literally like anytime we contact a brand or get a hold of a brand or hop on a call with a brand, it's an energy transfer, right?
Absolutely.
They can feel what we're kind of portraying, right? They're human beings too.
Exactly.
They can pick up on
Exactly.
cues.
Like you said, it's always another person on the other end. Like you see text messages, you hear phone calls, you see emails, but you don't realize it's not a bot replying to those most of the time. But it's typically like a human being that is, yes, working in marketing. They're trying to get like the best deal for their brand, but they also want to know, like even if your prices are a bit high, is that deal benefiting them? So if the deal is $10, but you're giving them like a subpar quality thing, they wouldn't want to work with you in the first place, at least according to what I think in my brand.
100%. Yeah, and that's valid. You want content that, works. So, with that being said, like I guess like when say a creator approaches you in the DMs or
Yeah.
approaches you in the via email, like what makes an email like really really stand out with you, and you like respond to the email?
Um, I I feel like what really matters is like, how well the email is written, like whether
Mm,
there's grammatical mistakes and stuff in it, whether they've taken the time out to be professional instead of like, hey, I want your stuff, can you just give me it? Whether they've like taken their time to, I don't want a 5-page email, but like, tell me, well, if you haven't tried my brand, tell me why you think you want to try my brand. What part of it influenced you into wanting to try it? And, again, like I said, it's the small things. Like if there's a grammatical mistake, that to me tells me they didn't like have enough time to even think about wanting to actually work with my brand. Like if you're sending a professional email, make sure that it's professional. So like it's the
mm,
small things, the how they end it, how they start it. Is it a hey, what's up? Or is it a hi, I'm this? It's like these small things that matter to me.
yeah. I guess like have you had a time in the past where you got an email and you're like, okay, instantly throw it away?
So many, so many.
Mm.
It's actually it's more DMs than emails because I feel like
Oh,
when
okay.
people DM you, they seem to think that for some reason there's no more professionalism included. But even though like I'm still a brand, you still don't know me. I'm not your best friend. Like we're supposed to have a certain level of professionalism when talking to each other. So of course you can tell me what you like and what you don't about your product, but do it in a more professional manner. Do it in a manner where it makes me feel like I would be happy to work with you instead of like, oh, I guess it's like kind of a burden on you, but thank you for taking my brand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's good context for like, creators out here that are pitching and they're not getting any replies, right? It's kind of obvious why not, right? They're coming off like wrong, grammar mistakes, right? They're not putting an effort into the email. Do you appreciate when a creator like tosses you ideas, right? Or gives you like a different marketing perspective, or like what really, really like what's like the key factor in a cold email or a cold pitch that you're just like, okay, this is like, this shows me that this creator is different.
Again, it'd be like when they like, of course, I appreciate the ideas, and when they have like specific ideas, but when I know they've actually researched a little bit about the product,
Mm,
like tell me why you think you would be able to market my vanilla perfume differently than I already have. Like,
mm,
why are you going to convert more than I have? What's going to bring me more audience? What's going to bring me more sales? Like, tell me that. Like, you can pitch me ideas, great, but tell me why those are going to work.
100%. And I guess like since you've worked with other creators in the past, like what's one video that went like that performed really well or outperformed, right? And why do you think it did outperform? Just for the creators that are watching this to understand, like, what's kind of the driving factor or what makes a video perform?
Honestly, like I think it shows in your video how much effort you put into it. So
Mm,
there was like I've gotten a ton of videos here and there from creators which I've posted on Facebook and very few on Instagram because they didn't like match my account. So first of all, you have to match my account, the aesthetic of it. But then the video that performed the best was one that matched my account, but it also over delivered. So when you're talking to a brand, a lot of people say that, over deliver to them in a certain sense. So like if you're
mm,
paying for a $200 video, that does not mean you send them 5 videos. It means they feel like they got $250 worth out of that $200 video. So when I asked the creator like what I was looking for, she uh, like typically it's shot on a cell phone like in a home studio and whatnot. She went out and she like got like a proper setup and she did it with a professional camera. She had proper like editing and all of that, and that genuinely made a huge impact on how I viewed her. I'd like to work with her in the future, and it also like it changed our relationship, and it made it made a significant impact on how my audience viewed the brand, because they're like, oh, it's a more professional way of marketing now. They see like it's a very high end, high quality video. So yeah, I
Mm.
paid $200, but I'm getting like $300 worth or more just from that video. So of course I'd want to approach that creator again and work with them again.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's like, as a coach myself, I call it like peeling back the layers of the onion, right? Meaning, like, yes, you have a video and you're creating UGC for a brand. Also, peel back the layers. How can I organize like my living room to make sure that this video, right? What do I have to, like, where do I have to move the table for the correct lighting, right? To make sure that I'm getting the shot correct, right? And like peeling back the
Exactly.
layers of even the clothing that the creator's wearing and like the nails that the creator has on and the
Yeah,
makeup, to fit the
exactly.
aesthetic. Yeah, so I
The
guess like what
tiny
else?
details make the entire video.
What was that?
The tiny details make the entire video.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. So like when it comes to like that fact, right, and peeling back the layers of the onion, like what other things like really, really stand out to you besides like what we already discussed?
Um, Specifically, I can't think of like off the top of my head anything specific that stands out to me. But
Sure.
like I just feel like, if where they're shooting is clean, it's a little different than like the
Mm,
usual UGC like unboxing sort of thing where like everyone just takes it out of the box and stuff. Like make it professional, make it aesthetic for me. Like I've seen a few people, not specifically in my brand, but I've seen a few people like when they're unboxing and stuff. I don't mind short nails, but their nails are dirty, and like
yeah.
I don't want that in my UGC video. Like you want authenticity, but you also want you also want it to look nice. Their nails are dirty, or like their lips are chapped. I've seen in other videos, and like it's these little things like that add up. So I'd say like when you're talking about peeling back the onion, I think it's just the overall aesthetic. If you're able to carry the video and make someone feel like they want to be there experiencing it with you. That's like one of the biggest factors that I try to incorporate in my videos. Do you want to experience this perfume? Do you want to
Mm,
smell how it smells? How are they describing it?
mm, 100%. Yeah, I like that. Just like kind of, it sounds like just going above and beyond with the
Exactly.
UGC, coming off presentable. Just because it's authentic content doesn't mean you can have dirty nails, doesn't mean you can't be
Exactly.
presentable, right? There's a
Exactly.
difference between authenticity and straight up like uh
Zero
just like
effort.
yeah, unprofessional, being
Yeah, yeah.
unprofessional. Uh
Exactly.
so I guess for you, like even a more technical question, um I guess like what kind of UGC like performs like best for your brand? Like a talking head? Is it more of like the B-roll style? Is it more of like an organic like Instagram, influencer style? Like do you have any like context on like hey, what actually performs best for your brand?
For my brand, it's mostly like influencer style that works
Okay.
best. But second after that is B-roll for sure. That's why I focus mostly on the aesthetics, right? Like a lot of times you don't either have the budget or you don't want to work with influencers in a certain like time frame. You just want like good aesthetic B-roll. So that's
Mm,
mostly what works for my brand, because like you're showing a certain level of value, or a certain level of quality that you're giving the customers when it comes to aesthetic B-roll.
100%. And even for your brand specifically, I guess like what makes like we're talking about earlier, the questions coming to mind, we're talking about earlier about like someone capturing your product. You're a perfume brand. So like the creator has to capture your product like uh very uniquely to get to
Exactly.
convey perfume to the viewer, right? So essentially like for specifically like your brand, like what do you wish creators did, right, with their content and the content that they create for your perfume? What do you wish they did in their videos?
What I wish, make it great quality, like, and send it to me not via email, maybe upload it to your Google Drive and stuff. So when I'm downloading it, in the highest quality possible, when I'm downloading it, it looks good on my account.
Mm,
And then on top of that, in perfume, like referencing perfume in particular, I don't have that many, like I have one note in my perfume. So if you could do something to signify and show that this is the note in the perfume, I feel like that really brings it out. Like if I have vanilla, get some vanilla flowers, get some vanilla pods, sprinkle that around. Maybe even like drips of vanilla essence in your videos. Like,
Mm.
I think it's all about how much, again, it comes down to like how much effort are you putting into this product, into showcasing what it actually is. Because a lot of people know how vanilla essence smells. So technically you're signifying to them like this is what the product, like, it reminds you of. But if you can't like show them according to that, like I don't expect a lot of people to know what amber is. You could add like, there's a lot of online platforms that are giving you stock video too. You could add maybe bits of that into your footage. I'm not
Mm.
expecting everything to be personally made by you. As long as it is a good performing video, as long as, it looks good, you could add stock video to it, not fully stock video, of course, but you could add those to showcase the products, to show like the elements. Again, like I want you to make people feel like they're experiencing it, because perfume is such a
Mm.
difficult thing to be able to market because nobody knows how it actually smells. I could say it smells
Yeah.
fruity. You could say it smells floral.
Yeah, for sure. It's like incorporating five senses into it, right? Really,
Exactly.
we're holding up a perfume bottle, right? And no one knows what it smells like. Like you can describe it, but
Exactly.
at the end of the day, you don't know what it smells like. But what you could do, right, as a creator, speaking to the creator that's listening to this, is like get some vanilla beans, right? And people know what
Yes.
vanilla beans smell like, right? And
Exactly.
mix like hold to like cinnamon and vanilla beans, incorporate
Yes.
that in the video, right? Incorporate these like tangible things, right, into a video that conveys the smell, even,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Things people are used to or familiar with. Things people already know how they smell like. So it's easier for people to picture in their mind, like this is what this could smell like.
100%. Yeah, that's cool. It's like Hailey Bieber's skincare or something like
Mhm.
that, where
Mhm.
she incorporates like certain like to talk about the texture of the skincare. She incorporates like milk and like different like
Different foods and stuff, yeah.
foods. Yeah, it's very
Exactly.
interesting. And it works. Like, let's be real, it works. It works on me as
Exactly.
well.
Exactly.
So,
So another tip actually is, because, I don't think anybody, I mean, goes without like eating at least once a day. Food is such an integral part of our existence that, just for like the fellow creators out there, when you incorporate food into any of your videos, people are instantly able to be familiar with that, to engage with that. Because like, let's say again, like you said, like a cream, right? Or let's say like a
mm,
face mask or something of that sort. If you show like whipped cream along with that, if you show like, if you take sorbet and you show the texture of that, or you show it being eaten along with that cream. Of course, the cream isn't
mm,
edible, but suddenly people associate that with the cream, and you think, oh, I want to try that because, like, I
yeah,
love the way sorbet is. I love the way it tastes, it looks. So food is
yeah,
something that you can incorporate into pretty much every shoot, so that you uh, you can reach pretty much everyone. Everyone likes food. Everyone eats food.
yeah, 100%. I really appreciate you bringing that example of like sorbet, right? Who doesn't like that, right? Who
Exactly.
doesn't like that and incorporating that within a product, right? Whatever kind of product it is, um, I can see how that appeals. Like I'm just like thinking about like me just scrolling on TikTok and then like seeing like TikTok shop videos and like other UGC on TikTok, how it like they incorporated things like that. Like I'm coming to like it's coming to like my conscious brain about like how it actually appealed to me like psychologically. So
Yes.
that's a great tip. I'd love to jump more into like more of like a collaboration experience, right?
Okay.
Like helping creators understand what does a brand like value in like just like collaborating and like the communication and things like that. So I guess like jumping into that, like what's your ideal like creator communication experience look like? I know that's broad, but like I don't know if you have any context for that.
Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what I can.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I'm working with a creator, what I look for is prompt responses, like
Mm,
hopefully within the hour. If it's like a day or 2 days, it kind of shows to me that you might not be as interested as even if you made yourself seem in the email or the initial pitch. Um, Response within an hour or two maximum. I want you to show me, like, again, like we said, tell me the ideas you have. Why will they convert? And then when we're talking about it, I want you to be open to if I'm giving you ideas as well. Maybe don't like, even if you don't like them, don't completely disregard them. Like,
Mm,
at least have some space for accepting them. You don't have to do them. You don't have to carry them out. Like, take the brand's advice into it as well because they know what works best for their brand, even if you have a lot of experience. And on top of that, like creators that just, again, like deliver above and beyond. Like I
mm,
will have a retainer creator if I know that, again, like $200, they provided me like $500 worth of, I will definitely even up their pay for the next shoot if like they're able to, like, if I asked them to send it to me in 3 weeks, they send it to me in 1 week. I'll be like, that's fantastic, instead of 200, might give you 250 because, I enjoy working with you. It was a pleasurable experience.
100%. Yeah, that gives great context on that. And it makes sense why like quick responses are needed, right? Honestly, like emailing nowadays here in 2025, excuse me, is more like it's more like texting, right? It's like everyone
Yeah,
has access to their email on their cell phone,
all the
right?
time.
So just turn your email notifications on and you can get it like a cell phone like message notification, right? So it shows
Exactly.
like when a creator has prompt responses, shows that they care about the brand, but if they're waiting like a while, right? Or maybe they just can't respond, shows that they're maybe like just too busy and they're putting it on the backseat.
Exactly. If like a response once or twice is slow and they tell me they're busy, and then after that they start responding on time and stuff, of course that's excusable. Like everybody has stuff come up in their life. Like, a day or two, 3 days, people get
Mm-hmm.
sick. But if it's like consistent type of like, delaying the project, or I wouldn't even start with them in the first place, to be honest, for like not delaying responses, delaying interaction or communication.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer not to work with somebody like that because what, what assurance do I have that I
Mm,
am going to get the the type of video that I want, or a video in the first place, from somebody like that?
100%. It's like a customer experience or customer service. It's like if you
Yeah.
go to, say, you go to like a restaurant or a local restaurant or a McDonald's even, like you
Hmm.
want a result. You want your food, right, when you order it. And it's the same
Exactly.
thing as a brand wanting their video from the creator, right? In a
Hmm.
prompt time, efficient time, good communication, just like when you go to a restaurant and sit in, you want all of that. So that's completely valid to want that as a brand.
Exactly. And I feel like if you have started UGC, you need to have a certain level of like, not necessarily educational background, but some
Mm,
level of background in sales and marketing. At least
mm,
study it yourself. Because if you're not sure how to interact with people or capture their attention, it's not going to work out then. Because like you could
mm.
be the biggest introvert, but then when you come on camera and you know how to sell something, that's a skill in and of itself. But like, you're extroverted, and just because you have like 100 friends, but then you don't know how to actually pitch the product, or you don't know how to get conversions or engagement, then like, you should definitely study the marketing, the psychology, like we talked about, like the sorbet thing earlier, the
Mm,
psychology of marketing, the psychology of getting people interested in something, make it a
yeah.
need, not a want.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful right there. If you're a creator listening to this, if you're to take anything away from this conversation, it'd be that. What Noor just said right there. That's so powerful. And even like when it comes to like communicating with a creator over email, right? Do you prefer to like hop on like a brief like brand call with the creator so they can map out these things for you? Or how far would you prefer a creator to go with UGC for you?
Um, okay, honestly, I've never had a creator ask me to hop on a brand call with them, to be very
Mm,
honest. It's always been interaction through email or direct messaging. I would, if a creator would take that much time out of their day and they wanted to do that, it would show extreme enthusiasm to me, and I would absolutely
mm,
love, like, if someone were to show that level of interest in my brand. I think that would like 100 out of 100 times make me absolutely interested to work with them. Of course, depending on their idea and whatnot, but like if they actually show that much enthusiasm where they want to talk to me in person, get to know my brand, it's 99 at least out of 100 times that's a done deal.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. As a creator that has hopped on brand calls for the past 2 years with brands, I can confirm close rate is like 90%, guys. Like really, brands love
Absolutely.
it. Brands
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. So that's so
Yeah.
interesting to hear from a brand. What would you tell the creator that's like nervous or like just like purely because of nerves doesn't hop on a brand call and pitch a brand call? What would you tell that creator?
I understand. After I moved from Canada to Pakistan, I realized that the culture here was very different. So I
Mm,
started losing a lot of my nerve. Like it's very common over there to just be confident. I don't know if that's like a thing, but when I was there, I was very confident. When I came here, it's more like be subtle, like, tone down. And I lost a lot of my like confidence, my voice here. So when I started doing sales and marketing, I realized
mm,
that's an integral part of how you're supposed to do it. So if you feel nervous, be yourself. That's fine. Your voice can quiver on call. It does not matter to me if you're sweating. Just tell me how you're going to help my brand, how you're going to help me. Like to me, it does not matter in the slightest how you look. It does not matter to me, if you can barely talk to me on camera. Get your point across, and if I know you can convert for me, well and good. Just make sure like if you get the opportunity, because a lot of brands do not do not opt for calling or stuff like that. If you get the opportunity in the first place, which it's pretty rare, make sure you make the most of it. Even if you're nervous and you can't talk, just get your point across why
mm.
you can help them.
Yeah, that's powerful right there. Because at the end of the day, you're a business owner too, right?
Yeah,
You're a business owner too. You understand the grind. UGC creators, they're business owners. Brand owners, they're business owners. Everyone's a business owner.
absolutely.
We're all in
Yeah.
the same ball field. We're helping each
Yes.
other grow, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, even even if let's say I am the boss and you are the employee, why would you be nervous? We're just another I'm just another person. Talk to me. Just it's fine. We're all just here to learn and grow. Nobody is
Mm.
perfect except Gloria, of course. But but, but nobody else is perfect. So so like don't worry about it. Okay? We all make mistakes. We all stutter. We all don't know what to say at times. Just
Yeah.
just just be yourself and show me like what you got. And even if during that brand call you can't show me, hit me up with a message afterwards. Like, hey, I'm sorry, I was really nervous on call, but like these are the things that I really wanted to discuss with you, and like this is what I could do for you. And I'll be like, great, okay, thank you for letting me know. It's okay. We all get nervous.
Yeah, 100%. And I tell my students like there's a beauty in vulnerability. If you just pull back the curtains and tell the brand even on the call, "Hey, I'm nervous. I'm so sorry. This is my first time doing a brand call or speaking to a brand like this," right? You'll only get respect from the brand owner, right? Because they're a human being too. They might have went through the same thing when they first started, right? So it's like
Exactly.
you're not going to get shamed, hated, judged, right? Please confirm, but it's like only respect, right?
No, 100%, 100%. But I might have to correct you in one spot if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I would not recommend you saying this is your first time on a brand call.
Mm,
You can say you're
hmm.
nervous. You can say you're nervous. You can 100% say that. But do not say that you do not have prior experience.
Yeah, because that will even like prior experience in general with UGC, that will make the brand feel like they could like under, negotiate you down, right? Is that right?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And if you say you have prior experience, even when you don't, okay, honest to God, sales and marketing, you have to be somewhat of a little bit of a good liar, at least to a certain extent. So even if it is your first sales call, just say it's not. Say it's not. You don't even have to. You don't have
You
to
don't even have to mention it.
elaborate. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to tell them. And then afterward, when you message them and you're just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was a little nervous today. Just not a great day. That's fine.
Yeah.
They don't know it was your first call. You still get the
Yeah.
deal.
100%. And that's so powerful, understanding sales and marketing. Because at the end of the day, as a creator, you are selling your videos, right? You're in sales as well. And a lot of creators, I feel like I feel like a lot of creators have that like creator hat on, right? When they need to take it off and put that business owner hat on. Because business owners
Yes,
understand sales, they understand marketing, they understand systems and communication, right? A creator doesn't
exactly.
understand anything. They hopped in from being a waitress or a nurse, whatever. That's okay, but we have to learn the skills to become a business owner, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, that happens to me too. Like when I get into like creating mode, I completely, for some reason, that part of my brain switches off and I'm just like, I wonder what this brand could possibly want. You know what a brand wants. You literally own one. So sometimes what it takes is sitting down when you're in the mode of like a salesperson and write down what you think. Okay, even if you're not a brand owner, if you were, say you're trying to sell me like that dirty pair of socks that's sitting on your bed, why would I buy that? Pitch that
Mm,
to me. So if you know what a customer is looking for, apply that same concept to anything else. So slowly you start learning sales. Take your favorite advertisements and look at them and study them. And then you let me know why you thought that was powerful. Why did it attract you? Why did it lead you to buy something? Take and learn from those. You don't have to do courses. You don't have to get an education for it. You don't have to sit for hours and hours of your day wasting time, to be honest. Work smart, not yes, not hard. I was about to say work hard, not smart. Work smart, not hard, because like you
100%.
could definitely learn so much just by your surroundings. What is your favorite advertisement? Why is it your favorite? Why did it work?
Yeah, for sure. Even like going back to like the drawing board of like, okay, why does even like taking it back to UGC, why did this UGC ad went viral? This random UGC ad or video went viral. Why did it go viral? Study the hooks, study these things, right? That helps. It's just going back to the drawing board at the end of the day. It's so simple. Like a lot of creators, what they could do, like to organize their thoughts, even just open up a Google Doc, start like
Yeah,
brain dumping, organizing what's going
exactly.
through your brain, right? Before even a brand call, organize like how you can help the brand, right? So you
Yeah,
have like, tangible points to talk about on the brand call, you know?
exactly, exactly. The brand is not expecting you. I want you to remember, you are a UGC creator. You are not a
Mm,
professional marketer. The campaigns that you see that are going on their accounts, which are big paid ads, they know what works. So you take those things and you scale it down into your own form. So my point
mm,
is, you do not have to worry extremely difficult about, can this give them exactly 1,000 followers and 200 sales? No.
mm,
You take what you can from their account, you learn from that, you apply it to your own, but do not concern yourself with exactly how much you can provide them. And never
mm,
promise to a brand that I'm going to get you exactly 10,000 customers and
mm,
1,500 sales in exactly 10 minutes. Like, no, you do what you can, which with the proven formula that you know works. But other than that, what
mm,
happens after that is it's luck. It's like, social media, the algorithms are always changing. On top of that, it's like if it performs, great. If it doesn't, you move on to the next brand. If the brand still wants to work with you, good for you. But like, you do your best is what I'm saying. You don't have to think from the perspective of a multi-million dollar marketing company when you yourself are one person. So don't be so harsh on yourself is what I'm trying to say overall.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great point of like releasing that pressure. Like at the end of the day, you are still a UGC creator. There's more ways you could add value, but also like take that pressure off yourself. You're a UGC creator. You're not running their whole marketing team. You're not running all
Exactly.
their ads. You're a UGC creator. You just need to like it's very simple actually. It's very simple. And sometimes just like releasing that pressure off your self and like turning your like thinking brain off and just like being there, right? And turning that like over analyzing, part of your brain off could really like help you grow as a creator because at the end of the day, it's just UGC, you know?
It's just UGC, and they know that they're paying for UGC. They're not paying for a
Mm-hmm.
multi-million dollar like marketing company. It's UGC. So don't worry about it. Do your best. Like I said, quality matters. Don't film it on a brick. But like, like do your best, not a multi-trillion or billion dollar marketing company's best. If that's feasible
100%.
for you, good. Typically it's not. We're just like, the point of UGC, I think a lot of people forget, is it's user generated content. You're supposed to feel a genuine connection to it. You're supposed to feel like, it's authentic. You're supposed to feel like I I I associate with this brand because I understand them. I feel like, they're the type of brand I want to work with. They're the type of brand I would use.
Yeah, for sure. And even like more specifically around the, say that you want a UGC creator as a brand, say that you want a UGC creator for marketing campaigns. Do you appreciate a creator like aligning more than just one video for you? Instead of doing like a $200 video, what about like X amount of hooks, X amount of bodies, call to action, breaking it up so it's more strategic? Have you ever had that happen to you, or do you appreciate that as a brand?
I would certainly appreciate that. Like I said, for now, I have had only one creator that has reached that level of professionalism with me. Um, but I absolutely 100% appreciated her for that. We even negotiated the contract deal after that because I genuinely appreciate when they give me their sincere input into like, how they think each of these factors could individually impact and help my brand.
100%. And just like it goes back, it always goes back to that peeling back the layers of the onion.
Yes.
Peeling another layer of that onion that we're peeling off is like breaking your videos up and providing extra hooks and extra things to test as a brand, like as when you run as ads, right? And like kind of going above and beyond in that direction as well. So last question before we jump into the next final part of this call is what makes, you said you've only had one really, really like successful creator or creator that kind of blew you away with things.
Yes.
So I guess like what makes a creator, like what makes you want to do a monthly retainer with a creator or a monthly recurring collab with a creator?
I guess, like you said, when they show that they're genuinely interested in the betterment of the brand, like not just because they're like, hey, give me free products, when it's like, here's a strategy that I did for my last video that worked. Here is something that I believe, like you said, like I can give you 1 or 2 videos with an extra hook. So again, going above and beyond, I can give you these tactics that help like boost specifically your reach, or this one boosts your engagement. And they provide me like the variables to show that this actually worked. So it's not just out of thin air. Like, you can show me that you have 1 million views on one of your videos, but how many people saved that? How many people sent that to somebody else? And when a creator, like the creator that I specifically worked with, what stood out to me was, again, like she provided the ideas, which for some reason is quite rare. I'm not sure why. But they provided the ideas, and then again, like I said, they told me why these ideas would work. And then on top of that, she gave me the option to just like, I can make you 1 to 2 videos, maybe even another video, and you tell me which one you like and which one you think will work. And that was so appreciated. And I know a lot of brands, be careful with the brands you're working with. They take advantage of that. They might just like download your video and post it without you knowing. So big fat watermark on your videos, saying this from a creator's perspective and also a brand owner's perspective. Big fat watermark when you send them the video, all over, not a small watermark in the side, full big fat watermarks. They can see the video, but they can't remove it with some kind of app. A few of my friends had that happen to them. They had a small little watermark in the side of their video, and then like the brands just edited it out, which was I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but brands do whatever. But so that's a tip for the creators. But what I work with and what I like is that she provided me the insights, she provided me a plan, and she gave me options. So I guess that's the 3 things that I would tell creators. Like, if you're willing to work with brands and be sincere and have good quality and provide those 3 things, I think you'll blow them away.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. And it all just like the whole conversation we've had so far, it's just going above and beyond. Like, it's not that hard to become a 1% UGC creator because all you have to do is go above and beyond, show a little bit more effort here and there, right, with your content and with how you communicate and all of these things. And that's how you separate yourself from every other creator and possibly land a monthly retainer with a brand, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to jump into the last section of this podcast, which is more about just like general advice. I know we talked a lot about a lot of strategy and a lot of tips for creators to separate themselves and things to go above and beyond with. But I want to just kind of do a quick recap of like everything we've talked about. And maybe if you want to add in more to this conversation, more new ideas for sure. But really, I'd just like to start with a question like, what's one thing you wish more creators understood about brands?
Hmm, that is a very good question, which I'm gonna have to think about for a moment.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
think
Take your time.
what more creators understood, it's not that they don't want to work with you in particular.
Mm,
Like, nobody has a personal vendetta against any specific creator. But I think when you like creators go towards brands, they're always somehow expecting a yes. At least for a small brand, there's typically a limited budget. They're typically looking for the cream of the crop so that when they use that budget, it is used wisely.
mm,
Um, and I want them, in my own opinion, like my own respect, I want them to realize that brands, at least small brands, they're sending you products that are made with a lot of love and with a lot of passion, and like how you portray them and how you interact with them uh, defines how the brand is seen. It defines how much you value and respect that brand. So I feel like overall it's just like how a creator interacts with not only the brand itself but the product. I've seen like a lot of creators, just to get noticed by a brand, they'll comment like heart eyes or like fire emojis under a brand's Instagram post. And while that is appreciated, what would also be appreciated was like, genuine engagement. What do you think of this video? What are you feeling about this carousel that I posted? Like, why do you think you want this specific product? Maybe not specifically in the comments, but if you could do that, that'd be amazing. DM me with the video. Tell me, wow, this product looks incredible.
mm-hmm.
And don't pitch at that point, but just say, this product looks incredible. I hope to try it someday. Something along that sort, where you actually look like you care about the brand more than the product itself, more than
Mm.
receiving free goodies.
Yeah, for sure. And I could understand even from the brand's perspective. Like creators listening to this podcast right now, put yourself in the brand's shoes. If you were a
Exactly.
brand owner, of course you would want someone like um, coming to you about your products, right? If you're a brand owner, of course you want a creator to go above and beyond, right? So creators need to put their, perspective, change it to the brand's perspective, right? When they reach out and get in touch with brands. That's
Exactly.
very
Absolutely.
powerful. So even like jumping into the next question here, I guess say that like say that a new creator reaches out to you.
Okay.
What should they never say or do?
I'd say they should. This has happened to me a few times. I see somebody and they literally just started their journey, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine. But they made their account 5 days ago, and they followed me the minute before they messaged me, and they're like, "I've been a fan of your brand for years. It's been my
Ugh.
favorite. I've been using it for ages." And you're just like, "Where? What are you talking about?" And then they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, your brand. I've been using it for the past 10 years." And I'm just like, "Okay, you clearly haven't done your research. My brand is 2 years old." So like
Oh
when you
wow.
have that exactly when you have that misinformation, or like when you try, I think it's like false over enthusiasm. I guess that's what I'd call it. Like when you don't do your research into what you're actually trying to get. That's something that instantly like cancels it out. Like I remember, I even at the start of it, someone like I literally started my account like let's say 2 months ago, and somebody messaged me and they're just like, "I've been a fan of your perfumes for the past 6 years," and I'm just like, "Which perfumes?" And they're like, that one, and they named some random perfume. I'm like, I don't even have that perfume. So even if this
Mm-hmm.
was 6 years ago, I never had that perfume. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I
So
can
that's
see how
definitely
that
something that.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a huge turnoff for a brand. Like creators, do your research and be honest, right? It's an honest interaction. Just be an honest person, you know?
Honest to God. And
Like you
like, you
cannot,
know, even if
yeah.
you've never used the product, say that you haven't used it, but like the video where I saw that, like, you know, the texture of the product, it seemed phenomenal to me. I really want to experience that. Or the video where, like, you know, you showed it in a rainforest. My skin has been dry for years and I've been looking for something to help me with my dry flaky skin, and I feel like your product could definitely make a huge difference. Like, you know, pitch yourself according to what you've experienced.
100%, 100%. And even like, what's something that creators like think brands care about, but you guys actually don't care about?
Follower count. At
Mm.
least professional brands. Again, in the Asian and Southeast Asian community, I cannot say that, but for me, it's followers. I do not care about that in the slightest. If again you have good quality work, excellent. I would love to work with you. If you can show me that you have good conversion rates, good engagement, I would love to work with you. But if your work looks like it was shot on a potato that was put in the sun 5 days ago, probably don't want to work with you.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and yeah, that kind of concludes the podcast. That was awesome. Overall, I learned even as a creator for the past like 2 years, I've learned a ton, and I'd love to open the floor for you, Noor. Let me know or let the audience know like what's the best way they can follow you, reach out on social media if need be.
I had such a wonderful time with you today. I'm so glad that we got to interact. It was
100%.
amazing. I love hanging out with you. Amazing. Wish we lived closer together so we could actually hang out, but
Yeah, 100%.
someday soon. For now, you guys can follow me on my Instagram. It is Noori, Noori, UGC. And then I have another content creation account. It is Mahnoor, Mahnoor underscore TAHIR. For now, it's that. I have a YouTube. Haven't really used it much, but again, it's Manur Tahir. So if you guys want to check that out, it's pretty much that. But yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for inviting me today. It's always a pleasure talking to you,
Yeah.
and I hope I could help at least one person.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure you did. Like, I learned a ton here, and you dropped so much sauce. Thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, hopefully we can have you on again, like later on.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Thank you so much for today. It was
All right.
great.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.